Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make a shaker card. So I am doing this card for a project share. It's for Missy down at DoWhatYouLove. If you haven't checked out her channel, please go check out her channel. She actually just released a video that had to do with the last month's project share, and I watched it this morning and it was absolutely hilarious. I love it. Really, no matter what her videos are about, they are just super funny, very entertaining, and very bright. Like, if you're in a bad mood for any reason, go watch Missy. She will liven up the day. I promise you that. So anyway, this card is for Missy's project share. And what it is it's a Thanksgiving or fall card, but it has to be a shaker card. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do my shaker card. So the first thing that I did was I grabbed a couple pieces of pumpkin from, they had a pack of pumpkins at Michael's for really, really cheap because they were actually in the Halloween section. But I do things very non-traditional, non-conventional. I am going to try my luck with this knife, and if you are not new to my channel, you've been here for a while, then you know I'm not a great craftsman when it comes to the knives, but we're gonna try. So as I'm cutting this, I'm going to be talking to you about what I did. So all I did was I drew out an outline, and I drew a bigger one, as you can see, but I also drew a smaller one, and I think I'm going to keep the smaller one because I want the shaker to be part of the card, but I don't want the shaker to be the card. You know what I mean? So I'm actually, as I'm doing this, realizing I'm going to need another pumpkin. So I will need 3. If you guys have these pumpkins and you are doing this project along with me, then you will need 3 total pumpkins. And if you want to do these with like apples or anything else that you might have, like if you have, because I know a lot of times they have die cuts from various seasons and themes. So if you have something else that you want to do, it's the basic concept. You follow a similar outline and you draw it first, and then you very carefully cut it out. And I think honestly what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat, because I'm really scared I'm gonna mess this up, and I don't want to mess it up. So what I'm doing here is cheating a lot. And if you guys aren't good with knives, then you can do this as well. So all I did was I cut a gigantic piece out of the middle right here, because this is all going to be cut out anyway. And I'm going to take my scissors, and these are pretty small scissors, so it'll work fine. These are Tim Holtz scissors. I actually really like these scissors a lot, and cut all kinds of stuff with them. So I'm going to do a very rough outline of this first, and I will get the detail work of it in a minute, because I basically want to ensure the best trim as possible. So yeah. Okay, so this is all cut out now, and now we have our 2 pumpkins. Now, do make sure that you're putting these side by side the correct way, because if you flip this over, you'll notice that it doesn't quite line up. So if you have it sitting like this, then it should line up perfectly fine. But if you have directional things, just make sure that they line up all right before you do anything else. So we're going to set this aside for just a second, and I'm going to, this is my background for my pumpkin here. So it's going to sit like this, okay? And this is going to have our little shaker bits in it, okay? So actually, let me grab this other pumpkin real quick. Okay, so I have my third pumpkin here, and I'm going to set this aside. I just wanted to go ahead and grab it because we do need that third pumpkin. Now, I'm going to use this side of this paper. This is the Autumn Day by Photoplay, and I'm going to just do this. This is honestly the easiest way to ensure that you have the correct amount of paper is put your object that you want to mat on your paper, unless you want a border, and I don't necessarily. So I'm actually going to use the Fabri-Tac because I want to make sure that there's no seam. So I should have done this earlier though, because it's such a thick glue and I'm almost out because I use this stuff for everything. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, so you do want to make sure that you have a nice coat of whatever glue you want. I would prefer to use a wet glue on this just because I don't really want a lot of like pulling up. So I'm actually going to purposely move this around just a smidge to make sure that all the seams are nice and set. And I'm going to push it down as far as I can to the edge because I don't want to waste any paper. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so the next part of this video I wanted to show you, I did go ahead and glue this on here, but I did want to show you very specifically, I did leave a border here on the other side because I wanted to show you guys something. So I don't know how many times you've cut something and you had to go back and trim it off. I recently watched a video, and for the life of me, I cannot remember which video. I've been watching a lot of different people over the past couple months, and I think it's Lyric Lover who showed this, but I could be mistaken. I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, what you do is you take a nail file, a sand block, a piece of sandpaper, it doesn't really matter, and you pull down. Maybe it was Keep On Stupid Ride. No, I don't think it was her. Anyway, and it works better if you have a sand block because it's hard, but hold this very firmly, and you just want to not sand your nails. I forget which way she did it. Anyway, you just want to sand the edges. And what it does is it gives you a nice clean edge. And we're going to ink our edges because I want this orange color to kind of pop through. But this will come in real handy. Excuse me. This will come in real handy when you have intricate work, like, I don't know, the inside of this thing. So that is just kind of an idea. She did it a lot better on hers, but she also had a sand block. And I keep hitting my nails, and this is really coarse, so I don't really want to hit my nails. So you just have to be really careful when you do it. And this also just goes to prove that I definitely don't do everything perfectly. And I know a lot of times when I'm watching videos on YouTube, I'm just like, man, they always do it so perfectly. How come I can't do that? And I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I definitely feel that way. So all I'm doing is I'm kind of fine-tuning all of the edges here. And this really works if you do a lot of like vintage work because it gives you that really coarse, rough edge. Like you can see right here, because I'm just going side to side. Honestly, the way she did it is she went straight down and it gave absolutely no edge whatsoever to this. So I don't know if you guys will be able to see this edge or not. But also, too, just be really careful when you're going side to side because the same thing with wood or your fingernails or anything. When you file something, you're changing the shape of it. So just be careful not to change the shape of your project unless, of course, you want to. So I'm just going to finish this up real quick and I'll be back. Okay, so I finished with the paper overlays on these two pieces. Now the rest of them we are going to leave blank. So this will be the card and this will be the card. Now she said that if you stamp your cards like homemade by blah blah blah, then you can put it on the back, but don't put by. So if you put like homemade item, homemade, just homemade or handcrafted would be fine, but just don't put your name on it. So if you're doing the project share with Missy, if you're just making this for yourself and for your family and friends, put whatever you want on there. So anyway, I went ahead and I grabbed my goodie bits and or shaker bits or whatever you want to call them, the goodies that go in the pocket. So I went ahead and cut all this out, and I did sand the inside, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's just such a smooth edge when you do that. And I didn't show you this part because it's a loud process and it's kind of a long process too. So I did show you on this one, which honestly, I think the more you do it, the more you get the hang of it, because this one looks a little bit rougher than this one here. And I did the exact same thing. All I did was I cut it out and then I sanded it down. But it doesn't really matter what it looks like because I'm gonna ink my edges as soon as I find my ink. There it is. I set it aside and I forgot where I put it. So this is Orange Blossom by Ranger Archival Ink. So I'm just going to very lightly give this kind of a nice coat of ink all over. I should have done most of this honestly off camera because this is a pretty boring process. It's as far as like watching it. But I don't know, if you guys want to watch it, then I guess that's fine with me. And it's not a very long process, it's just kind of one of those things that's like, I don't know, watching paint dry. Okay, so this is the inside of the card, and it's going to look like this when you open it up. Now, like that. Now, if you really wanted to, you could. I'm almost positive I'm going to ink the inside of this one as well, just because I don't want white and orange. You know what I mean? So I probably will leave the back white, but yeah, that's another process. Anyway, so for the shaker parts of this. There are several different ways that you could do this. You can use the plastic from your stickers. So you have all your stickers and you want to, like, you just used all of your stickers. There's nothing left here. You can use this piece of plastic as your window right there. See what I mean? You could also use the bag itself as your window. If you use the bag, make sure there's not a hole in it, like this one. Oh, there it is. You can see the hole, maybe, possibly, I don't know. Anyway, but there's lots of stickers that have, that don't have holes in them. Just make sure that you find one that works for you. I'll probably use this one. Now, before I get to the window, let's decorate our pumpkin. Know what the heck you call those things, but anyway, all right, so I have my stickers done for this part here. Now I want to see if this will work, and it will. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make my life really, really easy, and I'm going to cut this like this. See? And now I'm going to cut just on the top part of these words as well. And I'll show you guys a little trick. And you can always trim it down if you need to. And that seems perfect. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to make our own little pocket here. Because I don't know about you guys, but I like to just, you know, drop things into the window. So I am going to create my own little pocket here. And I'm only going to do it with one side. Because the other side, I need to drop my things in there. Okay, so I just put it right on the edge. And Nurse Tara is where I got this specific technique from. So she just puts it straight on the edge right here, and then she folds it back over, but she flips it back over and puts it straight back on the edge again. And what that does is it puts the tape on itself, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So if you can see, there is the tape right here on the plastic sheet, and then the tape right here where it's on itself. And what that does is it creates a seal. So when you drop your goodies in your little bag here, it's one, it's going to stay closed, but two, it's not going to get stuck in the tape. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill up our little goodies here. Okay, so I didn't really think of anything to put in here, so all I did was I took out some of the little papers, and that seemed to make a little bit of a difference. They still don't really like shaking up too much, but I don't know. I think it still looks pretty. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up before I spend like 5 hours messing with this thing. So we're just going to do the same thing to the top that we did to the bottom. And we're just going to, put this right on the edge. See how I put it right there on the edge? See that? We're just going to flip it over. And we're going to do the same thing. Put it right on the edge. And it's going to seal itself. Okay, now if you lay this down and your tape goes over the edge, you can just trim it down. I think I'm going to trim mine down anyway. Okay, so I've got the corners trimmed up on all 4 sides. Now if you shake this thing around now that it's closed, it actually moves around quite nicely. So I don't know, I maybe could have left everything in there, maybe not. I have no idea. So anyway, if you guys notice, I did use the red just so I could show you guys exactly what I was doing. So all I did was I put tape around the edges here, and I'm just going to grab my foam folder. Oh, you know what? I think I left it in the kitchen. Well, not the kitchen, the dining room. I was doing projects the other day, and I think I put it over there. But you can use anything for a foam folder, honestly. So I guess this is a portion of the video where I show you where you can substitute tools, because I left mine in the dining room. My crafting world's kind of like completely taken over this house. It's kind of funny. Do one side at a time. Make sure that your corners are inside the actual card, if you will. And you just push everything down nicely. There we go. I have a really bad habit of like pulling everything towards me because I'm weird. Alright, so there is your shaker. Now honestly, you could leave this just like this if you wanted to, and I mean, let it be like that. But I personally like to cover up this back piece here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use some foam tape. Now you can use foam dots, you can use foam squares, you can use whatever you want. I'm just using whatever I have handy, which happens to be this. I have no idea what this is or where it came from. I'm a terrible person. I have no idea what this is. So we're just going to use one. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz scissors because I don't like getting that tacky on my other scissors. So I'm just going to use that. And just make sure everything is nice and down, if you will. There we go. So I haven't decided how I'm going to connect this yet, but we'll get to that point. This is going to be a ridiculously long video, I think. I do have some editing portions in there, but it's still going to be ridiculously long. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and ink up this other side real quick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out how to make this into a card. And I think I have an idea. I either want to do it like this, where it opens up like that, which I think that might be actually what I do. And I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to glue this together, but I'm also going to secure it with an eyelet. So we're going to, do I want to use this tape or do I want to use the red tape? Oh, crikey. Okay, no, I don't know what I want to do. So this is the glory of you guys crafting with me. You get to see me change my mind 1,000 times. Come out. Okay. All right. That seems like a lot, but a lot of it was just dried. All right. So we're going to set this down and squish. All right. Now, we're going to give this a second to dry, and the next thing that we're going to work on is the envelope, because in order to give this card to someone, you need to put it in a nice envelope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure this. Excuse me. I don't know what is wrong with me today. I think my allergies are messing up on me. So this is approximately 6 inches by... We're going to take the longest part here and go up to here, and it's about 6 by 6. Once you have your envelope punch, you need to find where it says card size. So it says card size, paper size, and then score line. So you need to find where it says paper size or card size. And we already measured our pumpkin here. So you need a paper size of 9.5 by 9.5. Now I did go ahead and cut my paper right here. So then you need to find where it says score line, and this is going to be 4 3/4. So it doesn't matter where you start, just line it up to 4 3/4. So what's really great about this punch is everything is marked here for you. So it says 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2, 5/8, 3/4, and 7/8. Because I don't know about you guys, but I really stink at like finding 8ths and 16ths and stuff like that. Now, granted, it doesn't have the 16ths mark on it, but I don't think you really need it. I don't think so, anyway. So I'm gonna go from the bottom here, just because I could see where the score line was, and I didn't want to guess and then ruin my paper. So what you're going to do is, you can see that score line right there. You're going to line that up with this mark right here. And then you're going to punch, and then you're going to score. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch the corners out here. Now that's one thing I really like about this envelope punch, is you can make so many various sizes of envelopes, and once you get the hang of it, you can actually begin to create your own envelopes of various styles and whatnot. So I'm going to put this aside for a minute. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to ink the edges of our envelope. And we are going to ink both sides. So I've got most of the edges inked, but I did want to save one side for you guys so I could show you guys exactly how I did this in here. So this technique here is the same as the pumpkin that I showed you guys. This technique here is you fold it in half, or you fold it right on that score line. And then you take your dabber of choice and you go straight across a nice, thick, bold line across that score line. And then, once you do that, you go and you take it and you bleed it in to both sides. And you don't want anything, well, maybe you do, but I'm not going for anything harsh here. I just want that one bold line straight across there. Everything else is just kind of an afterthought, a blending technique, something like that. And by the way, don't ink your fingers. I have orange all over my fingers. So the next thing that we're going to do is actually fairly simple. What we're going to do is we're going to fold our envelope. But when you fold your envelope, make sure that your pumpkin fits inside your envelope. So, I'm folding my envelope like this. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it like that. I wanted to show you guys something before I actually sealed this up. I did go ahead and put tape on here. I don't know if you'll see that. And I took the backing off already. But I wanted to show you guys something. This is a thicker card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down. And then I'm going to fold everything in. Because I want to be able to fit this card in here without being squished. I don't want it to be squished. Because you spent all that time on that card, you want it to be nice and protected well and not squished out. You know what I mean? So now we need to figure out something for this. My fingers look so weird. I have ink all over them. For this closure. But first what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish up this the card here. So what I'm going to do is I had set out a brad or an eyelet there. And I'm going to punch a hole in here. And then I'm going to, hopefully this will work out well. If not, I think I might need to make a new card. But we're just going to center it-ish and punch. Now, if you have a crocodile, then that punch is going to be quite simple. Well, I guess you kind of have to have a crocodile in order to do the eyelet. I don't know if there's like another device out there somewhere. So I'm just going to try to get this through the hole. There we go. The hole's a little thick. So it's just basically going to be added security. It's not necessarily going to be the entire support system. It's just going to be a little bit added security. And you're just going to squish and you hear it click and voila. So there is that. And now you can even embellish that a little bit further. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up my closure on this and maybe put some more embellishments on here, and I will show you guys the final product in just a minute. So I finished decorating my envelope here, and I put some brads here and here for the closure, and I'll close that up in just a minute. This is really long right now. It doesn't need to be that long, but I haven't wound it up to close it. So yeah, so all I did was put some stickers, and I just used the same stickers that were in here. And also I added a couple more stickers here, right here and right here. And then I made some leaves, sort of. So I didn't actually make these leaves, they're stickers. And all I did was I put them back to back on top of the twine here. And that's it. So we have ourselves a little vine of leaves, if you will, here on top of our pumpkin that is a shaker card. And there are there's foliage in the background of this as well. And when you open this up, you have a card. Also, I will probably crease this just to make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right this second. All right. So that way, when you open it up, you have a card. So we're going to crease this. We're gonna do it this way and this way. We don't want to break our card, so you have to be very careful. Now, when you open it up, you can read it. Just like so. Okay? And then this is our envelope. And I just used, like I said, the same exact foliage that I used on our pumpkin here. And I did leave this open because a lot of times people, when they're giving their cards to somebody, they'll write the names on the envelope itself. So I left a nice big open area for that. So yeah, that's what it looks like. I think I'm gonna have to do something to make these stickers stick down right here on the fold. But I'm a big fan of, you know, making the stickers either part of the folds or cutting them off completely, like right here and right here and right here and right here. I cut them, like I put them down, but then I cut them off, like they're kind of going off the page. I love that effect, so yeah, I definitely did that. And I really want these stickers to stay here, but I'm gonna have to figure something out to get them to stay. So anyway, you just take your envelope and your card, and also I wanted to show you guys the brad on the inside is, there we go, it is covered. So and I did this after I folded everything up, so I definitely had to use like just like a piece of cardstock or something like that versus like a sticker or tape, because I didn't want it to get stuck, you know what I mean? So anyway, we're going to put our card in our envelope like so, and then we can close it up like so. So our brads, I don't know if you guys have used the brad effect yet, but when you do, when you first put the brads on, the closeness to the paper is normally pretty tight. So after you use it a couple times, it normally lessens up. So I think that's good. I think I'm going to just like wrap it around twice and call it a day on that. Ugh. I always forget that I close my scissors. I don't know why, because I always do it. But anyway, so that is my shaker card for Missy's Project Share Do What You Love at Do What You Love. So this is the November Project Share. I will be working on the December Project Share shortly. Hopefully I can get my Plan With Me video up shortly. And I know it's super late. It's already going into the next week and I still haven't done this week's. It's super chaotic here and I'm so sorry. But anyway, I'm not gonna ramble on because this video is already probably 30-40 minutes long, and I will do everything I can to trim it down so you guys aren't sitting there watching me ramble on for an hour. So anyway, that is my project share. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I know that I ramble sometimes and I don't explain things very well sometimes. So if you have a question, definitely leave that in the comments down below and I will do everything I can to explain things further in detail for you guys so you can understand them better. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye guys.